Hey everyone, I am Ben Womack. I'm your core game creative director for Destiny 2, and I'm here with your boy, Skarrow.
Perfect, thank you. For those that don't know or don't remember from Edge of Fate, core game creative director, what does that mean that you have your hands over?
Yeah, so the part of Destiny 2 that is trying to say, hey, this is the season, these are all the systems that go into making Destiny overall. This is the progression, like for power, and this is what's in the portal and ops, and these are the gear you're getting. Those are all the teams that I am like coordinating for all of Destiny.
Perfect. Okay, so a lot of obviously there's been a lot of feedback and a lot of changes surrounding all of these areas, and so that's a lot of things that I kind of want to just provide feedback for, and maybe pick your brain on a little bit, and go from there. I do want to say, I do empathize a lot with a lot of this, because I think no matter how good the changes that you make are, there's going to be some negative name association with the portal now. I think that's a very tough situation to be in. I'm just wondering if you guys, what sort of thoughts you give to, hey, should we maybe call this something else at some point?
Well, I think if we just try to rename it, fresh coat of paint,
yeah,
title, I don't know if that would fly. I wouldn't put my money on people like buying that.
Yeah.
Like the thing I think about is like, what is that we want the portal to do?
Yeah.
Potential for us to like really take advantage that people are responding to, and that's the path forward.
For sure.
And so we've made some small headway on it right now.
Yeah.
But like it's mostly listening to what people say they want.
Yeah.
And the one that resonates with me is people saying like, yeah, I want the portal to be something that feels like I can get to stuff faster, but doesn't limit the size of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so I hear that a lot, and so it's something that really factors in our discussions about where the future is going to go.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of altering the size of the game, something I found really interesting, because my understanding pre-Edge of Fate was that things were going to come in and out of the portal. Looking at the portal from what we played today, it looks like, as far as I can tell, everything from Edge of Fate is still in there, and you've just added on top of it. Is that still the plan to move things out of it eventually, or are we just going to grow and grow and add more and more stuff to it?
Yeah, well, infinite growth probably isn't possible.
Yeah.
But the thing we realized in this original plan, like we had a lot of original plans
that
we know are not working out. Like very, very candidly, we were clear about that. And we started to take stuff out of the portal for Renegade's launch, and we're like, oh, we missed that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not actually better, that's worse.
Yeah.
And so we immediately changed that plan. As we were playing it internally, we realized, no, that's not the way to go. People are obviously not going to like that part if we, even if they feel like they've played Devil's Slayer 1,000 times, like taking it out of the port, taking the option away is not going to feel good.
Yeah.
With how everything works.
Yeah.
And so we decided we're going to like have everything be in the portal.
For sure.
And we're not going to be reductive like that.
Okay.
And on this launch, we're going, and it's part of the listening to what people are saying, and deciding like, okay, what is like the way the portal's really going to serve the way you want to play, without the game feeling limited.
So with that, one of the issues that, or like a point of feedback that I kept coming back to that really differentiates this area of Destiny from previous, is the fact that all of these buckets of portal activities have largely the same loot. And I really found myself getting disconnected, getting the same loot from strikes and battlegrounds and old seasonal activities where, or even I think to a more extreme degree, if you look at Pinnacle Ops, everything within there and old dungeon activities, when most of those things used to have their own unique loot sets, now they're all largely the same and conglomerated within those buckets. And I was wondering if you guys had put obviously it's a huge amount of time and resources, but have you had any thoughts about how maybe to differentiate and get people focusing on specific activities within the larger portal buckets? Just as a way to bring back old loot or more cosmetic chase or anything like that.
Yeah, we have, and like we've seen that feedback really clearly on it. And the truth is that we really wanted to give people as many options as possible, and still make like a loot chase viable, because it's not something we believe we could deliver for like. We're going to take 100 activities across the entire game, them all like unique loot pools of their individual like chasing ons. Like we can't make like 100 guns.
Yeah, of course.
Every single like drop we want to make. We want to make really good guns. You know? And so it turned out that because there was such a wealth of options, I think that people were like, well, of this wealth of options, because they're somewhat the same.
Yeah.
The thing that feels like the best choice for me.
For sure.
And for a lot of people, we know that was like, well, what's the choice is most efficient, or what is the smartest choice?
Yeah.
And that was something that we tried to like give you some reasons to like pop around and change it, but they weren't strong enough.
Yeah.
And so we made a bunch of changes to like saying, hey, yeah, there's better loot for longer activities.
Yeah.
Which was really important.
Yep.
Where bonus drops really matter for your power climb. And with events, we're like giving more reason to pop around, like with Festival of the Lost, and like, oh, there's some extra festival engrams on this activity. Wouldn't normally play that, but maybe I will just to get the full cash out of those.
Yeah.
And like those softer incentives that do feel worthwhile, I think, are what's making look around and playing them better. But I think to your point, they still all feel like they're kind of have the same stuff attached, and that isn't going over the way we hoped it would. We hoped it would be freeing, instead it's constraining because there's too much freedom.
Yeah.
And we're approaching that in a different way. We have we're going to lean in more on weekly rituals, like we've mentioned. We have a new feature called Vanguard Alerts that's going to appear in the portal 1 week after Renegade's launch. It's going to bring back some of that desire to like, hey, what's the activity this week? It is there is like a Grandmaster Nightfall-esque activity that I can grind for this like special drop that has a special incentive on it. Like that's actually a good reason to go play that thing. That's the only thing that has that this week.
Are they unique drops for that system alone?
Yeah, for that system alone.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay.
And like, to be clear though, they're not like completely unique pieces. They're like they're a unique perk take on some of the weapons.
Oh, so unique perk sets that can only drop on these specific weapons if you grind.
It's sort of like a special, like really like pinnacle prestige perk.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so that's going to we're intending that it's also going to be available in Lawless Frontier on some of those weapons too.
Okay, cool.
In Renegade rituals.
Yes.
So it's also going to be available in a way from there. So you don't have to like only do portal. You can also chase it on other guns in Renegades.
Okay,
well.
That's really cool. I like that idea a lot. That kind of harkens back to Forsaken era when you could get masterworked versions of weapons to drop, and it was the only time that you could get like from Dreaming City activities or Last Wish. It's the only time you would see those perks on those weapons. It's
a little bit like that. We're edging back into some of that territory, but we really want to put it in the portal. It's really easy to find. They're all in one place.
Yeah.
And then make that feel convenient.
Yeah.
As opposed to limiting or like confusing or whatever. And the point I do want to mention to you is that it's not just about making something that is like a Grandmaster like challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We've been splitting the weekly rituals into we want low pressure and we want high pressure. And high pressure, like playing the raid. Just completing the Desert Perpetual, that is a high pressure activity.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like that's going to be one of them. But we're going to have low pressure ones. You can play in the Crucible playlist for that to get a chance at one of these drops.
Wow, okay.
For a limited number per week.
That's cool. Okay, and that you said that rotates per week?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think that this is really important because I really started to feel this with Ash and Iron and Reclaim when it came out. And I was like, I could grind for all the new weapons here, but there's 50 other activities in the same bucket, and some of them are faster. And so that's really where, usually the way I think of the portal is like it's a really good supplement to new content. It's like you run new content, you get the new loot, you get your new titles and stuff, and then usually Destiny kind of stopped after that. And I like the idea of the portal as a way to continue on past that point, but it is almost especially with Ash and Iron, almost kind of replaced that new content thing. And it's like, okay, I ran Reclaim like 3 times. There were no new triumphs, there was no title, and you could get the loot from faster activities. And it's like, well, I would love to play with the new stuff, but it's faster to not do that.
Yeah, no, like I very much hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it from a lot of other people too.
Mm-hmm.
And like the intention with the portal when we were moving out with it was like we have all this stuff back home, these things that you can't even play in the game anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're in the vault. And how do we bring that stuff out of the vault in other parts and make them be something that's going to feel kind of fresh, or be enjoyable to play again for a good reason? And with Power Climb, like one of the things that we were really hearing before was that there really was in the past a limited amount of things you could do to get power, and since it was kind of confusing, it was very hard for players to grok, especially if they've been away for a while.
Yeah. And
so we wanted to simplify all that, but like we said, some of those strategies didn't work out, and we have to like refine down to what is people are responding to.
Yeah, for sure. My kind of copium suggestion here, and you don't have to address this because I backseat gamed up to the max. I like with solo ops, they're so similar to each other. I would have loved like almost a strike specific loot aspect to that, where every solo op has like a very specific cosmetic that it can drop. And maybe that gets people to only run them 10 or 15 times until they get it. But for most solo ops, that's probably 10 or 15 times more than people ran them currently, right? So Yeah, that's just sort of something that I was thinking of, but I really like the new approach with the you called it the Vanguard alerts.
Vanguard alerts.
That's a fun system. I'm looking forward to see what those.
Yeah, and this is like you're edging back into trying to like get some of that territory that people are going to be excited about.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
It's really kind of a start.
Okay.
So I don't want to like pretend like it's going to be like solve all of our problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, like as far as solo ops, and like you have a new solo op that's coming out
as
well, Typhoon Imperator, which I was like, we want to keep on investing in that realm as well. And I like your idea of like having like an individual chase on them. Like we're seeing people actually play a lot of them.
Good.
And so they are being played, and so it's like this. We're trying to like think, okay, well, there's the feedback, which is really important, and then there's the data that we're seeing when people are playing on it, and obviously like. Everyone's playing on Kepler the most in solo ops.
Yeah,
we understand that. We don't want to like delete that or anything.
Although K1 Revelations is still the best.
I mean, I like that one.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one is Creation. That one just
really
feels very tight. Yeah,
okay.
It's just it's like a really great synopsis of here's a Destiny chunk.
Yeah.
And I love the aesthetic too. So I mean that's part of it. I love Europa.
So, yeah. There's the lasers on the plate. I've died to those more than anything.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like I originally I didn't know that we were going to add more stuff at higher difficulties.
Yeah.
And so when I first stepped in that playtesting, I was just dying. I was like, who did this to me? But yeah, it's nice that things change up.
Yeah. So wider question on this front. We talked about this at the pre-capture event for Edge of Fate, and you wouldn't budge. What the hell did the drones do in the solo ops?
Oh,
because no one knows.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to disappoint you right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you technically, but there are ways to get extra points that can let you like. It's a disappointment. I'm sorry.
But it's like if you look at your point counter when you destroy them, it doesn't go up.
You have to get all of them.
Yeah, even so, I have a video showing like it doesn't give extra points.
What? I haven't seen your video.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bug fixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on so much copium. I would like when it first came out. I was like, he wouldn't talk about it. I think if you destroy all the drones in every one of the solo ops, there's like an Easter egg. And it was like, you can something unlocks if you do all of them on all of the things. So there's another idea, but I was so convinced.
Well, I did skarrow dirty.
Yeah.
I was trying not to reveal everything in the moment.
It's fine. It's whatever. It was a fun couple of days loading into the solo ops over and over again until I got the ones with the drones. So whatever, it was good. I want to move into the epic raid, and I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to talk about it, but I just want to say I adore the epic raid. It is probably one of my favorite things that Bungie has done in the last half a decade at least. And I think the approach to it where you did the update day of, so none of the assets were in the game, so it couldn't be data mined. And then the stuff that could be data mined, like the strings, it still had foreign counters, it was still Corgo, so everyone thought, including myself, I was a giant hater about it, where I was like, I took off work, I'm excited to do it, I'm not expecting much. And man, did I have so much egg on my face in a great way. Like when you first enter that portal and then you come across the Pyramidian thing and like what an incredible experience. I love all the changes to all the bosses. And I have a worry that, the game has issues right now, and I'm worried that maybe less interest on the epic raid. I don't want that to be interpreted as a problem with the epic raid itself. I would love to see more of that stuff in the future. And I just wanted to be like, can we see more of that stuff in the future?
Well, I think everything you said about Epic Raid is like super true from the response we've seen from people that have like played in it and watched people play it. Yeah. And we hear that, and like that tells me Epic Raid went off pretty well on that level. And there's the state of the game otherwise is the part that I think was disappointing. It was leading to disappointment for people's expectations were super low. Yeah. And so like I think the response of people who played it and people like yourself who like were looking at it and like showing other people what it's like, that's the important part.
Good. Okay.
So I definitely have faith that matters a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. I would. I would love to see epic versions of other raids. I think it'd be a great way to bring back some raids that might not be in the game. But I love that take, and it is so much of Destiny, especially after like 10 years. Like there are times I'm surprised, like Chestiny and stuff, but I still kind of like have a general idea of what Destiny is, and it's very rare where I'm just like floored and I'm like, I never thought you guys would do something like that. And I forgot how much I missed that feeling until I was like in the middle of that day one world's first race, and I was like, this is Destiny, this is special. And it just, I love that experience so much.
Yeah, I love it too. And I will do a quick shout out that like the raid and dungeons team, like they deserve all this credit. I am like
Yeah.
facilitating their life over on my side.
Yeah,
of
for
things,
sure.
and just kind of like sitting in awe of their work at the same time. So
Yeah, that's just something like I know you're not necessarily directly connected to that, but I'm going to continue to scream that feedback at anyone who listens. So because the raid and dungeon team, I guess I'm not allowed to talk to them.
I know confidence. I don't know what you mean by that.
They're just a very elusive group of people. So I know a lot of people at Bungie. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's currently on that team.
They're a great group.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
I sat next to them like in the early Destiny days for a long time. Like my chair was next to the raid team, and they've always been like a super like important part of the game, but also a super great crew.
Yeah.
And I will not say anything else because it sounds like if they're not offering other information, I won't offer for them.
Good stuff. All right, and just for the last end of this interview, I really wanted to talk dive into the event side of the game, because this is something that I think, for all of its faults, Edge of Fate and this saga of Destiny has done events in a very good and interesting way, and not perfect. I think there's room to improve and increase player drive and stuff like that. But I really love a lot of the uniqueness that is coming from a lot of the events. Is that something that we can hope to continue, like more unique takes on events? Like Call to Arms comes out on Tuesday next week, and that's something. So can we look forward to more unique events that we haven't seen yet going into Renegades?
So like I'm glad you mentioned this, because I think events have been like going well too. All the stuff at Edge of Fate and the slingshot effort and such, like it's a huge mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like, super aware of that, and all the feedback items. Like I've looked at the events side and felt like some of this stuff we're actually getting right with the events.
Yeah.
And the events team was like super passionate about their work, and the impact that players are having in the response. Like we're constantly like looking at what players are talking about to try to like iterate and adjust. And that's like with Festival of the Lost, like we're like, you know what? Yeah, actually we had those issues at launch, and actually to help with this, we're going to make it 3 weeks. And actually we're seriously been like, holiday events should be 3 weeks again.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's kind of changes. I see like, how should we respond to a live game? And then they're doing the thing we want, which is like making the game feel a little fresh.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, and so like we want to keep on investing in events.
Cool.
We want to keep on having past events return back. We want to keep on investing in new events.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you like when or how they're going to come.
Yeah.
At this time, but like it is something that like we are very passionate about.
Okay, so like if I were to suggest maybe like a heavy metal with the behemoth vehicles, you couldn't confirm that.
No, I couldn't confirm it. I would be surprised you suggest that.
Okay.
I think this is awesome.
Yeah, that sort of stuff is really cool. I also think, I'm just not that I expect you to comment, but I think the community would really appreciate new takes on older events like Revelry, Crimson Doubles, especially Crucible stuff. Like I feel like events are such a perfect way to iterate on Crucible content, because a lot of the Crucible, the meta is always changing and stuff, but a lot of that equation has kind of been solved in Destiny, like what Destiny Crucible is. And I think when you start throwing knights with pumpkin heads into Crucible, that starts changing, right? In a way that maybe we haven't seen over the course of Destiny. So I would really love to see future iterations on that sort of thing. And I think that's been going super well. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this actually, this went a lot better for what I thought it was going to on such little time to plan. So it's great.
No, I'm glad to hear that. And like that there are like a lot of changes with Renegade's launch that are going to be in the patch notes we're going to see that we didn't have time to touch on today.
Yeah.
But I hope we're going to show people that we are like listening and hearing what y'all are saying. We know that some of this and a bunch of this stuff that we were trying to aim for didn't hit like they are, and we have plans for like looking at that with Renegades and beyond too.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for talking with me today. I appreciate you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure you check out the other Renegade content that's launching on my channel. I love your faces, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks.
Bye.